you're not in the agency.
Right.
You're not in the. I won't say special mission program yet. I'll say it because you say it. You're not in it. But so what happened? What are you doing?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's a great question. You got to pay the bills, man. The only people that wanted to hire me was the bars. So for 8 years of my life, I was a bouncer. For 8 years of my life.
Yeah, I can tell. I can
see that.
And again, it's like you're not being paid or treated to what you think you're worth. I mean,
and you were even kind of alluding to it before we recorded that, like, to go from this pinnacle of badass job to have to work a regular civilian job, it's humbling. Yeah,
it is, brother. And, man, you're walking in there and I'm wearing a suit and everybody's looking at me like, is this the owner? Why is this guy wearing a suit? And the guy looks at my resume and he's like, Force Recon, what the hell is that? I don't know what that is, but, here you'll check IDs, you'll break up fights, and you'll clean the toilets, at the end of the shift. If I catch you the dancers or the waitresses, you're fired. You show up late, you're fired. You got any questions? And I'm like, man, I got a lot of questions. You know what I mean? Like, I can jump out of an airplane from 25,000 feet. I could swim out of a submarine and onto an enemy beach undetected. I could speak multiple languages. I can do all kinds of cool guy stuff. And here I am making $10 an hour to check IDs and break up fights, man. And that was 8 years of my life, man. And it's like, did you piss off God? You know what I mean? I mean, you're having some really deep thoughts, man. Some dark thoughts. I mean, honestly, I'm just being honest. The only good thing about that, well, I got a lot of stuff out of my system, and I'll let you do the math on
it probably is related to don't fuck the dancers.
Yeah, oh yeah. I hope my wife is not watching this.
Hey, man, you got to sneak in. You got to sneak in. You got to lerp in and lerp out.
Yeah,
dude.
that's it, brother. Yeah, that's it. At least
you're still doing some tactical training there.
I was, man. I was doing a lot of MMA. I was doing a lot of horizontal PT. My first wife was a Marine stereotype. My first wife was a dancer.
Okay.
And, oh my God, I can't believe your marriage didn't work out. Well, let me tell you a story. It was all like combat.
Don't worry about it. You're not going to get that from this show. We're both. No, I obviously know exactly. I was going to say, I was just going to get into. So did it last a week, 2 weeks?
10 years,
dumb enough?
10 years. Wow.
Well,
That's pretty successful.
I separated one time. I separated twice. And actually, and my wife knows all this shit, man. I was actually still married when I met my wife. Now, she's my soulmate, bro. And I know that sounds cheesy, but she really is. And she forgave a lot of we're not easy people to live with, man. And you know what I mean? Chris has told his story publicly a few times. We're not easy people to live with, man. You know what I mean? So the fact that we can find any human being that can fucking stand us is a miracle. But I did meet my soulmate, man, for sure. But yeah, I was still married, but I was like, hey, man, I'm going through a divorce, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, my first combat experience was, like I said, man, I was breaking up fights and, hanging out with women of the night or, entertainers, the entertainer business, whatnot. A buddy of mine, Rusty, SF guy, he was like, man, well, let me back up a little bit. I'm at work, looking for people doing stupid shit. And again, I don't know how much time we have. I could tell you two quick stories. One is I see this little group of dudes in the corner with like short hair, and they're kind of looking around like suspicious, but they're happy. This is like early 2002. And I walk up to these guys. I'm like, okay, motherfuckers, what unit are you from? And they're like, we're Rangers. You probably never heard of. I'm like, fuck yeah, I know who the fucking Rangers are. So Atlanta, and most people don't know this, two of the three Ranger battalions are in Georgia. So 1st and 3rd Battalion are in Georgia. So these guys party in Atlanta, right? So again, 2/3 of Army Rangers are partying in Georgia. And guess what? They come in my club, right? So anyway, I'm sitting there talking to these guys. These dudes had just come back from like Kandahar, man. They did a combat jump. And I'm listening to these guys' stories like, this is fucking great, man. This guy's talking about, just, doing shit that Rangers do, right? I'm like, that's fucking awesome. Well, in the meantime, and again, this is like year 6 or 7 of my, bouncing career, and every stripper in the place knows me because for do the math. So anyway, these girls with huge tracts of land are coming up, hugging me and, hi, Kirk, and all. So I'm looking at the Rangers like they're the fucking king of the planet. And they're looking at me like, oh my God, I want their job and they want my job. So, the grass is always greener. But anyway, I found out about Blackwater, put in an application, got hired, went through their training.
And you said once again, this is post 9/11.
Post 9/11, yeah. And this is my first time in combat, and I'm in my early 30s, and again, man, I was very rusty as far as all the skills I had in recon. Like, my skills were checking IDs and checking, you know what I'm saying?
Check.
Yeah, like, oh, I'm going to get in a lot of fucking trouble, man.